Sprewell, a huge key for New York. He did not play well since the foot was broken. Allen Houston has to have a lot of early touches, as does this young man, Larry Johnson.
Well, for the Indiana Pacers, let's see if they start this ball game the way they ended it, with a pretty good defensive attitude. Turnover against New York.
Joe Crawford, Don Vaden, Bennett Salvatore, the officials for tonight's game. Larry Bird, Jeff Van Gundy, the opposing coaches in Game 6. An Indiana win puts them in the finals. A New York win forces a Game 7 Sunday in Indiana. Here's a steal. Charlie Ward, Sprewell against Jackson, laid it in.
The Knicks need to force turnovers with their Eastern Conference best defense. They need to take those turnovers, capitalize them, and get it to Sprewell in the open court. Nice pass.
Johnson jumped out on Miller, who had lost Houston on a screen. They get it inside, and the shot no good, and then Smits takes it away from Ewing.
Now, Ewing did a real good job of clogging things up, was going out of bounds and threw it right back. Mark Jackson makes him pay.
Had an open look at a three, and Mark Jackson knocks it down. The former Knick has Indiana on top by 1.
Well, the key for the Indiana Pacers, who are so perimeter, is to see those outside shots go in early in the ball game.
Johnson, wild shot, but Ewing tries to save and cannot.
Patrick Ewing playing the defense here, pokes this ball away and then quickly gives it up to Charlie Ward. He sprints out. By him taking one lane, that forces the defense to always give recognition to Patrick Ewing.
Smits with a running start jams one home, as the defense forgot about Smits, who has been either feast or famine for him. 21 first half points, and then he comes back with 0 points in Game 5 2 nights ago. Patrick Ewing answers for New York.
It's amazing how more and more teams don't try to exploit Patrick Ewing's lack of lateral mobility. The age, the injuries have really limited in that department. Alonzo Mourning did a decent job of it. Smits has been quiet.
Well, Smits played like a guy 7'4" that time. He played with some authority. Miller
misses his first shot. Sprewell the long rebound. 3-on-3 break. Sprewell pull up 15-footer.
I'd get him the ball. Looks pretty sharp early.
Well, Sprewell had to be a guy to look in the mirror. I mean, he was saying a lot of things, but he just played out of control in Game 5 in Indiana, and he looks much sharper and more poised and collected right now.
He was 4 for 14 in Game 5.
He is playing with a broken bone in his foot. Let's not forget that. 2 to shoot. Jackson for 3. And New York has it.
The Knicks are running. It's a very good sign for Jeff Van Gundy. That's what he wants him to do time and time again.
Larry Johnson misses a 3. Easy rebound for Smits.
Well, what he doesn't want him to do is to fall in the trap of living out on the perimeter. Larry Johnson was so good in Game 4. Not going to be that perfect here tonight.
Reggie Miller and 1 as he got a step on Houston and laid it in. Allen commits the foul. First foul of the game.
Larry Bird would love to see Reggie Miller do this more. Put his head down and get to the hoop. That'll give you trips to the foul line, incidental contact. When Larry Bird, who knows better than anyone in this building about what it takes to get to that championship round, he knows it's domination of the basket area.
Miller completes the three-point play, and Indiana has an 8-6 lead.
Now, one thing Indiana cannot do and survive is to let Charlie Ward come that far down the floor and set their offense.
And Reggie Miller was trying to front Allen Houston. A perfect lob pass and no backside defensive help. Easy bucket for Houston.
When was the last time you saw Allen Houston dunk?
Not often. Not often.
I think this is a big game.
Trying to post Jackson.
And he has the ball on the low post. Has to flash back out to Jalen Rose, who misses a 3. Gets the shot clock out of bounds.
A lot of wild shots, really, for both teams. But with Allen Houston getting fronted by Reggie Miller, he does the right thing by stepping away from the basket to create some space, and the weak side way too late for Larry Bird's rotating defense.
Again, but watch the defensive pressure of Mark Jackson. He's allowing Charlie Ward to just come down and go where he wants. That's going to create all kinds of problems. Foul, Rick Smits.
Smits coming to help out as Ward using a screen, got to the rim, and Smits commits his first.
You don't get penetration if a guy is pressuring you. He comes over, he's able to weave his way down the lane. Smits is there too late, and they can't afford Smits to get early fouls in this ball game tonight.
If Smits would move it. Nice pass by Sprewell.
Ewing from Sprewell as Indiana misplayed the pick and roll that time, leaving Ewing open, and New York has hit 5 of its first 7 shots.
I don't know if Indiana has played the pick and roll right tonight on defense.
Now what Charlie Ward is trying to do is get to Mark Jackson earlier in the clock so he can't do this. Pound, 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 and beat him off the dribble.
He finds Jalen Rose all alone. The three-pointer is good as the shot clock expires. Jalen Rose with his first bucket.
Indiana desperately needs Jalen Rose to get off to a big start tonight. He has been so quiet and time again in the first quarter. It's really until the game is at the very closing moment.
Sprewell off-balance shot, tapped by Ewing once. Ewing again.
Ewing with 6 early points, a couple of nice jumpers, moving without the ball, working hard on the offensive glass. Everything in the system now for Jeff Van Gundy.
Trying to find Reggie Miller as he's chasing off a couple of screens.
Back to Dale Davis, picked up by Ewing. Ewing gave him a pretty good shove, which seemed to just help the Davis momentum.
Yeah, that gave him the perfect lift for that shot.
The Pacers by 1 and a New York timeout. Indiana up 13-12. Hot shooting by both teams. Indiana's hit 5 of 9, 56%. New York 6 of 10, 60% shooting for the Knicks, who have outscored the Pacers 4-0 on fast break points. And get Ewing off to a great start. He's hit 3 of 4 and has 3 boards.
Nice pass by Johnson. Ewing couldn't stick a fork in it.
The Indiana Pacers are a great deep shooting team. They won game 4 with their perimeter play, and they've got the Knicks reacting right now.
Beautiful passing. Smits can't finish, but a New York foul as Jackson got it to Smits within 4 feet of the basket as they move the ball to good advantage.
This has been the best combined stretch for both teams throughout the series. Knowing the gravity of the moment here as we get closer and closer to the end. Both teams sharpening their games.
Rick Smits. Log on to MSNBCSports.com and click on Showtime Online as Bill Walton breaks down the second half of tonight's doubleheader, Game 6 between the Lakers and Blazers. Plus, check out commentary from Steve Jones of the Western Conference Finals and analysis from Isaiah Thomas, Matt Gukas, and Peter Vesey on the hottest playoff topics. That's MSNBCSports.com, official website of NBC Sports.
You know, Rick Smits got a couple, but during that free throw timeout, the Indiana Pacers all very angry, that they didn't get the simple play to work for them. And that's the most anger that they've displayed in their ball games here at the Garden. Houston.
So the Pacers showing a little passion tonight, which was something missing from their play in games 3 and 4 losses here at the Garden.
Yeah, that, you know, in 3 and 4 they were very cool, and everyone was saying this is not a team with a lot of heart. And tonight, a lot of fire.
You know, the fronting defense, you might throw that out the window. Remember, Reggie Miller tried it on Houston. Houston got a dunk. That time, Houston tried it on Miller, and Miller got an uncontested layup.
What did Jeff Van Gundy say in our pregame meeting? Will somebody please guard somebody out there? Let's see who can play some defense. Jalen Rose did a great job of it right there.
Sprewell missed. Ewing back tap, but it's taken by the Pacers. Jackson whips it and laid in by Dale Davis, trailing the play. Mark Jackson with a brilliant assist to Davis.
Well, Van Gundy's nightmare is coming true in that they have fallen in love with their offensive energy, and they haven't been able to get to the Indiana Pacers, particularly at the point with Mark Jackson.
But Jackson is controlling the flow. He's the guy that's getting the assist, setting guys up. Nice swing pass.
Sprewell open 3.
Sprewell is the one who's sizzling for New York. He needs more touches. He can't be the guy who handles it only at the end of a broken scramble play.
That stops an 8-0 Indiana run. Pacers have the ball up 4. Rose shoots over Sprewell, and the rebound to Larry Johnson.
And you see Rick Smits go flying by, which means he's going to be trying to rebound the ball tonight, which is not his strength. Houston.
Allen Houston. Houston, coming off a 25-point performance in Game 5, has 4 tonight.
Houston, the only Knick who played better than good in Game 5, but with Ewing pounding up and down the floor right now, that's creating fast break opportunities for his teammates.
Skip pass, a three-pointer no good by Jalen Rose, and Charlie Ward takes it the other way.
Yeah, they haven't gotten in the game is Larry Johnson. They find him on the break.
When New York pushes the ball, they've been at their best, and they've tied it at 19. Timeout, Indiana. The Empire State Building on an early June night in the Big Apple with the score tied at 19. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, here in New York, the debate continues. Are the Knicks better off or better with Patrick Ewing? Well, in the last 2 years, they are 5-1 without him and 1-4 with him. Before the game, we spoke to Jeff Van Gundy, and he told us he's very upset that this question still lingers.
If we lose the series, it's Patrick's fault, and if we win the series, it's everybody else, and it had nothing to do with Patrick. So in this case, Patrick can't win, except to win and move on, and that's how it is. I feel badly for him. I feel badly that a guy who's given so much and been the best Knick that's ever played, because he's not the most popular Knick, is now being taken to task. I feel badly for him, but it doesn't change my mindset. We have a better chance with him than without him.
But the rest of the Knicks have to realize as Sprewell continues his scorching performance is that when Patrick Ewing is out there, they can't just look to him. They can't defer to him. They have to keep playing their game and let him play more of a specialized role as a rebounder, as a defensive player, a shot blocker, an igniter of the fast break, and in that time as a passer.
Well, before they lost that game in Indiana, they were all saying that they were better with Patrick Ewing. They lose it, and they all look for a scapegoat. Ewing is part of this team. Jackson's shot clock.
He beat the shot clock. In fact, the shot clock goes off as the ball nestles through the net. Mark Jackson, the second time tonight, he's hit a bucket up against the clock.
The most surprising comment was by Latrell Sprewell, who in today's paper was echoing those sentiments. And Sprewell has always been Patrick Ewing's biggest supporter.
There's Ewing drawing the foul as Rick Smits hacked him on the arm for his second personal, and he'll be replaced by Sam Perkins. Let's go back to Jim.
Thanks, Tom. Well, what Sprewell said was that we definitely can't say we're better without him, but the numbers definitely indicate that we are. Jeff Van Gundy was very disappointed in that. But Jeff Van Gundy said one thing that I thought was really telling to all three of us earlier today. He said, you got Camby, you got Thomas, or you got Ewing. He says there's no coach in the NBA who wouldn't pick Patrick Ewing. Tom?
All right, Reggie Miller blocked Houston's shot and got it to Jalen Rose, who missed. Dale Davis is fouled as he gets the offensive rebound.
The Indiana Pacers are energized and attacking, and the crowd here not happy with the call from Joey Crawford.
But the Pacers perimeter guys, Jackson, Miller, and Jalen Rose are all into a rhythm tonight. Charlie Ward picking up his second foul. That's going to bring Marcus Camby. They're going to go with a big lineup here. Moves Sprewell to the backcourt.
If the Knicks are going to win this game, they still have to have that push from the backcourt. They've got to be aggressive on the ball, and when they rebound it, they've got to run the floor.
And this will stop the Mark Jackson posting up because he's being checked by Latrell Sprewell now. Here's Jalen Rose.
It's a tough matchup for Larry Johnson, and we'll see if Rose decides to get to the rim.
Sprewell doesn't want to be the primary ball handler here. He's so hot. Let somebody else like Larry Johnson create. Sprewell be a finisher. Nice move with the left hand.
But he couldn't finish it. And here's Jalen Rose. Rose has hit only 2 of 7 to open the game. Nice pass, though. And one for Dale Davis from Jalen Rose.
I thought Larry Bird said his team wasn't quick enough. They got a lot of juice in their steps tonight. And Dale Davis, for the second time, is on the finishing end of the break. And this is a great lead pass. And all the defense of the Knicks can do is react.
Marcus Camby with his first foul. As Davis has a chance for a three-point play, one of the unsung heroes for the Indiana Pacers, Dale Davis, who does all the little things, all the dirty work.
And has been by far Larry Bird's best front court performer in a series where he's seen a lot of his front court completely disappear for major stretches. Foul on Reggie Miller.
For Miller, number 1.
For the Knicks, only down 5 points. What they can't do is panic. They've been getting some very good scoring chances. They got to continue to move the ball, move their bodies around a little bit quicker. Whenever they stand and hold, that's when they get themselves in trouble. Miller out, Derek McKee in.
McKee had 9 rebounds in Game 5 in limited playing time.
Came alive, made some beautiful passes as well. Didn't score, but this is a guy who made a lot of intangible contributions for Larry Bird. Steal Jackson.
Yeah, you can see that steal coming a mile away. Allen Houston laid it out there. Jackson was on the sprint. Nice play.
Have you ever seen Mark Jackson quicker?
Well, you know, he said tonight with the Garden Party going for the Indiana Pacers. Davis wants to shoot it.
Thank you. We got away from Patrick and is called for the offensive foul.
Anytime you see a player hold it and shake it, you know he's not going to pass it. And he's got 7 points early, so he's feeling pretty good. And you know, Ewing's way off of him. This is an easy play for the officials to call.
Where were Marcus Camby's feet? The question of the day, which was Reggie Miller and Larry Bird arguing in front of the Pacer bench.
Allen Houston, pick and roll to Johnson.
And what the Knicks have, and they haven't had right now, is people diving to the hoop. Larry Johnson on his own.
2 to shoot. Ewing missed it. And Dale Davis another rebound. Dale's second. He's been double-figure rebounds almost every game. Derek McKee fouled by Sprewell.
Derek McKee is going to make that kind of strong, aggressive move to the hoop, something that every one of his coaches have always begged him to do. What's a player like Latrell Sprewell to do? Derek McKee is 6'10".
Yeah, but he wasn't looking to score. And I think Latrell has to make him shoot the ball first before he gets overly concerned with his ability to penetrate and make a play for somebody else. McKee at the line, Larry Johnson out of the ballgame.
Chris Childs replaces LJ. And Austin Crozier makes his first appearance in the Indiana lineup. Monday night on NBC, 2 great dramas are back-to-back at 9, 8 Central. A special Monday Law and Order, followed by Third Watch at 10, 9 Central. A drama doubleheader tomorrow night on NBC.
The drama is quickly going out for the New York Knicks. As we talked at the outset about the defense and how it's breaking down, well, Jackson has controlled the entire flow, playing the quarter here. Everyone is running and moving. Jalen Rose, Reggie Miller, Derek McKee delivering.
Allen Houston delivers. Houston's 6 points. Nice screen set by Camby.
Now, Childs is doing the right thing by coming down the floor, trying to attack Mark Jackson, so they can't let him just get down and set things up. But the Pacers are quick to move the ball tonight.
Crozier passed up an easier shot and then missed the tough one. A fall away, and Ewing with the outlet to Childs. 4 rebounds for Patrick.
What is Austin Crozier doing?
Sprewell.
Well, when Sprewell is on this kind of roll, you got to make sure that you keep feeding him the ball and keep him in that medium range. 11 first quarter points for Sprewell.
On 5 of 7 shooting.
Now with a more typical point guard, Chris Childs in there. Sprewell doesn't have to handle Larry Johnson on the bench, getting a much-deserved rest.
Final seconds of the first quarter. Perkins for 3. Rebound kicks high and bodies every which way. It'll be a loose ball foul on New York.
Well, Houston pushes McKee out of the way and picks up his second personal. But the Knicks find the red-hot Sprewell down on the baseline. And when he's got it going, he's a very difficult guy to cover. And Jalen Rose gambled trying to get to the ball.
Why would you shoot the gap there on Latrell Sprewell? The guy's so hot. Basically, you have to trail him there. Just stay in his footwork as much as possible.
A steal is what it's called. He was shooting the gap to get the steal.
But in a game like this, you need absolute discipline at every moment.
Here's Travis Best on the floor for the Pacers, the hero of Game 5 when he had a career playoff high 24 points. Allen Houston goes out for New York, and Charlie Ward returns.
And they get small in the backcourt, and McKee 4 straight free throws.
In fact, Indiana 8 for 8 at the free throw line. New York has not shot a free throw.
Indiana is the league's best free throw team. They're the ones who are attacking the rim. while the Knicks are settling for perimeter jumpers.
Well, a man that usually has little to say is beating that gum to death and yelling instructions, and that's Larry Bird. I mean, he really is into this game, and I think he feels this is their best chance to get to the finals tonight. They don't want to get to a Game 7 at all.
1 second left at the buzzer to end the first quarter. And for Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers coming out with enthusiasm and aggression tonight, the fact that they have outscored their opponent is a good omen. Reggie Miller, one of the 6 free agents on this Indiana team, so it could possibly be his last game as a Pacer at the Garden.
And remember, this is a team he wanted to play. They got him, and he's got to step up and play like it's Miller time the entire night.
How could you not re-sign Reggie Miller, who just turns the ball over?
Miller did turn it over. He has scored 5 points so far in the game, and we heard Donnie Walsh tell Jim Gray in Indianapolis in Game 5 that the first re-signing priority was Jalen Rose. Here's Chris Childs with penetration and his first bucket.
The Knicks definitely need a spark right now. With Larry Johnson and Charlie Ward not having sharp games, the offense being carried by Houston, Sprewell, and Patrick Ewing, guys like Camby, Childs, they really have to make something happen for Van Gundy.
Well, it is only a 3-point game.
McKee, Kurt Thomas got a piece of it. Thomas is out there with Camby, Childs, Sprewell, and Johnson.
And remember, Childs guaranteed this bad boy was going back to Indiana, and he's come out with a more aggressive attitude.
Sprewell missing that patented jump shot.
Guarantees, I found out, are not what they used to be, Steve.
Where have I heard that before? Sam Perkins backed Thomas down, and then the short left-handed hook is his first basket, and he said he's retiring at the end of the year. He's one of the free agents. The Brooklyn native may be playing his last Garden party.
Sam is ambivalent. You know, he changes his mind from game to game.
Like someone else we can think of?
If that jump hook keeps going in and this three goes in, you know, he'll be saying, I feel pretty young.
Numbers for Childs. If he pushes it, Kurt Thomas the trailer.
And Childs, as hacked as he does indeed, push the ball right to the rim, and maybe that's that spark you say New York needed.
Well, it's Chris Childs in the 7th game at Miami that was absolutely the difference for New York. That is the strength of this Knicks team. You never know who's going to beat you. They can all come at you from so many different ways. Some days it'll be Charlie Ward. On other days, Chris Childs, Marcus Camby.
What Jeff Van Gundy says is he'd like to see his point guards, Childs and Ward, have a good game on the same night.
Well, that would be true, and the way that they have to do it is they both have to be aggressive and assertive. Charlie Ward started off that way in the games in which the Knicks have lost. Chris Childs has been tentative and passive, and it's hurt him. So I think he understands that he's got to be aggressive if he is going to fulfill that promise of getting Game 6.
Childs hits the free throws, the first 2 of the game for New York, and then promptly commits a backcourt foul on Travis Best. And
but at least he's up there putting some effort, some energy, trying to dictate the tempo.
Well, I mean, if you come down the floor and guard both Jackson and Best, you slow them up, you make them pick the ball up further. They don't get into their offenses early, and Travis Best has a tougher time scoring the ball.
Childs on the floor trying to get it away from Best. Now double teaming Perkins. And big smooth for the second time, the left-handed hook. And the southpaw has 4 points. He'll be 39 in just a few days.
Straight down on the sky hook. Beautiful pass, Chris Childs.
Johnson had an edge on Miller, and the pass right where he needed to be to take him to the rim for the easy one.
Now the Knicks are starting to play some ball.
Oh, that was a quick move by Travis Best.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, where just a few moments ago, Jeff Van Gundy had this to say to his team.
Right, now we've talked about it at the first time out, right? And it's important that you're able to adjust your intensity level during the game. It's not good enough right now on defense. It's not good enough.
And those adjustments to try to keep Travis Best now, to try to keep Mark Jackson, who was dominating the first quarter, It put a lot of pressure on now Chris Childs and early on Charlie Ward.
Reggie Miller got away from Sprewell and made him pay as Miller knocks down his 7th point of the first half.
Now, Sprewell has not been used to chasing Reggie Miller around as much as Allen Houston and not fighting his way through those picks as well. He gave him way too much room.
And that's what hurts his foot the most.
He says that lateral movement and pushing off is what really gives him pain. Chris Childs, though, providing some offense off the New York bench. He has half a dozen points. Indiana by 3.
See, he needs to get on the strong hand, which is the left hand of Travis Best, and make him go to his right. And a lot of times he plays Travis Best straight up, and that quick move to the left gets him burned as it did the last time down.
Canby rebounds the Perkins miss. New York's ball. They're down 3.
Canby not a factor at all in Game 5 after being huge in Game 4, the first one back after the knee injury.
Here he is shooting a bad-looking shot off the top of the backboard almost. Hit the corner. And now Travis Best has it for Indiana.
Now, Thomas doing a good job of fighting around to front Sam Perkins.
They should not run plays for Marcus Canby. Just let him get scramble plays. 3 seconds.
And that 3-second violation will turn it back to New York.
Well, you know, Tom, Bill got a new rules book today, so he's got that 3-second thing down, and so we're up on everything tonight.
My favorite one is Rule 2, Section 3, the elastic powers of the officials, that they can do whatever they want.
That means they could throw you.
We can only hope. Latrell Sprewell penetrates, finds LJ, who fumbled the pass, now recovers.
Trying to bull his way in against the clock.
And against McKee, and missed the shot. Crozier battling with Canby, and Austin wins that battle.
And those shots were going for Larry Johnson early, and right now they're not, but he's got to keep trying to get that deep.
Guarding Travis Best, now that's a chore.
Especially with Best playing with confidence that he garnered with his career playoff high 24 points in the last game.
Yeah, but a guy that's as clever with the ball as Best, but who has a tendency to pound it if he gets confused, you want to make him start to his weakest hand, which is that right hand. Don't let him play with it and finally figure out where he wants to go and use that speed and quickness to create.
Kurt Thomas committing that New York foul. Here's Austin Crozier. And the rebound, Sprewell. He's got Thomas, and he gets him the ball, and then Thomas lost it, but luckily for the Knicks, LJ was standing in the right spot, and New York takes a timeout.
All right, thank you, Bill. I spoke to Latrell before the game. He told me his foot is maybe feeling a little bit worse than it was Wednesday night in Indiana. He refuses to take any painkillers, won't put any padding. He says it's very painful. He says, I'm going to play, not complain. We asked Jeff Van Gundy about it, and he told us, I know he's hurting. It's whatever you can give us is what he told Latrell. Don't be down and frustrated about what you can't give him. Tom?
All right, Jim, thank you very much as Larry Johnson misses.
Larry Johnson seems to be just a little tentative about when to pull the trigger, and he's got to be more aggressive in looking for his shot.
His shot selection has been questionable, though. Maybe the injuries have finally caught up to Larry Johnson. The back, the broken bone in his foot, the plantar fasciitis.
Remember, the guy told us he's, 2,000 years old in dog years, so, he knows he's broken down, and he's just got to play through.
But at some point, the body does not respond to the mental commands.
Well, I don't think he's reached that point yet. I think that, the bigness of the moment, the fact that he's had a couple of very good games, sometimes he feels that he has to do a little bit more. And if he just does what he can do and makes quick early decisions offensively, he'll be fine. We're going to hear from Larry Johnson before this game is over.
It's amazing that he hasn't done anything and the Knicks are only down 3.
Neither team has scored in about 2.5 minutes. Chris Childs, since coming in, has been a big part of the New York offense, so there's what they need. And Allen Houston outside shot. Houston has 8, and the Knicks are within 1.
The Knicks also need Marcus Camby and Kurt Thomas to make some sort of statistical contribution here.
Miller, quick shot. Nobody shoots quicker. And Miller on target again. How you defend that? He has 9 points.
And how frustrating is that for the defense? I mean, Houston was right in his face. Sprewell has been there time and again, and Reggie just too quick, too tough.
Well, you just got to come back and stick it on him. I mean, you cannot let Reggie Miller get the upper hand and think that he's going to dominate you offensively. You got to make him guard the other way.
Wow, Sam Perkins leading the break.
Thomas with that miss for New York. Reggie Miller has hit 4 of his 5 shots.
Nice pass, Reggie.
Perkins at the long-range 2. Dale Davis the offensive rebound, but Childs had a momentary steal, and Thomas with a good save.
Finally, a play that brings the crowd to life here.
Childs gave it to LJ, who missed, forgive me, out of bounds to Indiana.
Larry Johnson wants that one back. You can't get any closer and better position than he had. Put it off the back iron, and the frustration. Let me go get that ball. Larry's going to give it to you, Bill.
Larry's only 2 of 8, 4 points.
When you can't jump and you can't move, you think about just trying to use quickness only. Jalen Rose got plenty of quickness.
The defense lost him that time. Thomas tried to jump out and help. Too late, and Rose has 7.
But the big men for Indiana are setting very effective screens. Dale Davis, time and time again. Sam Perkins, freeing up the shooters. Real team game right now for Indiana.
They lead by 5.
Houston trying to keep some pressure on. Miller missed that time.
The shooting for New York has been woeful.
Perkins low post against Thomas. Into the corner. Three-pointer hit the side of the backboard, but there's Dale Davis again. Back to Rose, and this time he does not miss. Jalen Rose now with 9 points.
The crowd wants a call. They thought that one hit the side of the backboard and should have gone the other way. Good save.
22nd timeout, New York. Dale Davis with 5 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. Got this one and gave it back to Jalen Rose.
The side of the backboard is in, though. This was the previous play with Jalen Rose moving off, and then with Dale Davis so quick. Remember, it was Game 6 against the Miami Heat that the Knicks played one of their worst halves of the season, were down big, and then came back and won. The Knicks going to go for offense right now. They're struggling, they're stagnant. Sprewell, after the blistering start, got to get that ball and put his head down and get to the hoop, maybe the free throw line.
Now, they're not doing that bad a job of scoring the ball, and you know they just got to make sure that they rebound the other way to get a foul against Sam Perkins. Childs, Houston, Sprewell will be the primary offensive scorers, and the other 2 guys are going to have to play off them.
But the Pacer defense, very solid tonight. Playing big, standing tall, shoulders back, denying penetration. Shoulders back.
Yeah, this is the military.
New York has just scored 1 field goal in the last 5 minutes. Kurt Thomas misses the free throw. Patrick Ewing returns for New York, and Larry Bird immediately gets Rick Smits off his bench as Perkins goes out, and Canby going out for New York.
If you're a Knicks fan, and there's a lot of them here in the building that have been quiet, they have got to see the Knicks be able to get to the Indiana Pacers earlier. They're reacting to the passes, the cuts, and that's putting them on the trail end defensively.
The Knicks fans, they came ready for blood tonight. They've had nothing to cheer about.
Larry Bird said in Game 3 he'd never heard the Garden crowd so soft and thought he never would again. He may hear him again tonight if this continues.
The Pacers have put the Knicks fans back in their seats.
Dale Davis once again off the offensive glass.
Yeah, they got a bad break that time because there were 3 Knicks around the ball, and it could cost them.
Bass can't convert on the 3, and Smits over the back has his 3rd.
Well, you know, Smits is a guy that can pick them up very quickly, and if he's got 3, Larry Bird has to make a big decision. Smits just got back in the ball game. You let him run for the final 3:49, but you'll watch him come over the top of Patrick Ewing. Thomas out of the ball game, Canby back in, Smits out, Crozier back in.
And Mark Jackson has replaced Travis Best at the point guard spot for the Pacers, who lead it 42-36 with 3:45 in the first half.
6-point ball game, and all the Knicks need to do is just maintain their composure offensively, move the ball a little bit quicker. Houston should go in that direction right there.
Baseline jump shot comes up short. Jackson and Canby, and finally Dale Davis grabs it for the Pacers. 7 boards for him. Here's Miller for 3. And the long rebounding Childs. 3-on-3 break.
Where are the Knicks playing well from? What spot on the floor? All the shots on the left side are definitely clanging out. Now from out in front, they're clanging.
Sprewell comes to the jump stop and then misses the shot.
Well, they're not able to get the drive right now, and everything is a jump shot against some sort of pressure, but they've got to move the ball, move themselves a little bit earlier so they can make that happen.
This was the story in Game 5. Jackson in the post.
Pounding on Chris Childs behind the back to Davis. Blocked by Ewing. Davis and one. Thank you, Hannah. And here in the East, home court has meant everything. The home team winning all 9 meetings this season between the two, while in the West, here in the postseason, in this Western Conference Final Series, only 1 win for the home team.
If the Blazers hope to win, they can only pray that the Lakers ignore Shaquille O'Neal, the game's best player today, and they're going to have to get something out of that big guard lineup the Blazers have utilized very well, and Sabonis and Brian Grant have to deliver up front against Shaq.
Dale Davis missing. New York 13% shooting in the Game 5, and tonight 31%. They haven't had a field goal in 3.5 minutes.
After a terrific start, and Marcus Camby just made up his mind. He was throwing that one in the air and looking in the direction of Joey Crawford to bail him out.
The Knicks are at their best. Reggie Miller gets hammered by Ewing coming across. But this sense of desperation that they're faced with now usually is a source of inspiration for New York.
3 to shoot. Miller, tough shot, comes away. And Camby gives it up to Ward.
Allen Houston did a terrific job that time of making Miller fight to get that ball, and then Patrick Ewing, who blasted Miller the last time, got caught this time down.
First foul on Patrick Ewing, and New York has gone 7 minutes with just 1 field goal. They trail 44-36 with 2 minutes left in the half.
Can Charlie Ward tip the ball away? Yes, from Mark Jackson.
Ward to the hoop, fouled by Crozier.
Charlie Ward has been silent throughout the evening after being spectacular in games 3 and 4 in New York. Now makes a couple of turnaround plays for the Knicks.
You know, that's the best change of pace you've ever made.
But basketball's all about change of pace, change of direction.
Beautiful crossover dribble. Charlie Ward ready for his second free throw. Free throws keeping New York within shouting distance of the Pacers, since they've gone cold from the floor, which is the modus operandi of this New York team. We've seen it happen time and again.
Well, I mean, that's all they want to do right now is stay in the ball game. They don't want to let the Pacers get a double-digit lead and really become monsters. They feel very good about themselves in the way that they played in the first half. So it's up to New York to just try to stay in it and finally dent that confidence.
Pacers are trying to get Jackson in the post, but the Knicks scrambled, forcing him to the weak side. Now they're up against the clock.
Jackson with 2 to shoot is fouled, bailed out by the foul. That was an off-balance shot that had very little chance of going in. And instead, Mark Jackson will step to the free throw line after Charlie Ward commits his third.
Well, decision-making defensively is everything. And when you've gambled, you can't come back and think that suddenly you're going to make a block on someone who's moving forward with his momentum. Charlie Ward, a mistake.
And now Van Gundy's got a huge dilemma here. Got Charlie Ward with 3 fouls. You certainly don't want to put him in jeopardy for the second half, so he comes back with Kurt Thomas to go to the big lineup. He wasn't happy apparently with Chris Childs.
Well, Childs was also in foul problems, so you got both of those guys nicked up, and he's going to have to finish the first half with Sprewell and Houston in the backcourt.
The last New York field goal was at 6.5 minutes by Allen Houston.
Oh, that long jumper that sort of seemed to give them some life, and then all of a sudden nothing.
That pulled them within 1 at the time. Now with 1:15 left in the half, it's 46-38. Sprewell, multiple fakes and one, as Miller went for the ball fake by Latrell Sprewell, and Reggie commits his second foul.
The more you're able to attack the other team's best offensive weapon, the greater overall success you'll have. Sprewell just steps right underneath. Reggie will now go to the bench.
replaced by Derek McKee with 1:12 remaining till halftime.
Well, Reggie, hearing it from the crowd, his favorite chant, but Sprewell with this could make it a 5-point ball game, so the Knicks still right there, and they have not played their best basketball.
They went 5 minutes and 13 seconds between field goals. Crozier, aggressive move, got the roll.
Time and time again, mental breakdowns by the Knicks. Now they can't even get the ball in bounds. Without the point guard, nobody comes back to help bring it up the court.
Inside the final minute of the first half. First half dominated by the Pacers. Ewing against Davis. Turns baseline and misses badly.
That was one he should have made. He just quick shot it. He made that spin and was right there for you.
Crozier back out to Jackson, who says, let's settle down.
Come to Jalen Rose right here. Give him some confidence. Been left out far too long for Indiana.
Backing down on Houston.
Confidence is what he's lacking.
He's lacking touches. He's lacking possession. They're going to Austin Crozier, Derek McKee, Reggie Miller. This guy's got game.
Well,
Jalen Rose is the top scorer for the Pacers with 11.
He got 6 in the quarter, so he's been involved in the game.
Yeah, he's got some touches.
Coming back to Ewing. And Ewing going to try to make the same move. No.
Houston for 3.
Great defense, Mark Jackson.
Davis picks it up off the floor. 3 seconds to go. Jackson from midcourt hit the top of the backboard to bring the first half to a close. And the Indiana Pacers, needing a victory to move to the NBA Finals for the first time in their history, play an excellent first half, holding New York to just 1 field goal the last 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and they lead it 50-41. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. I'm here with Reggie Miller. Reggie, can you maintain your aggressiveness on offense throughout the second half?
Well, offense is not going to win it for us tonight. We got to do it on the defensive end. We know they're going to make runs in the second half, and yes, our offense is kind of clicking right now, but that's not going to win the ball game. We got to do a good job of still making them catch it out a little bit further.
What are you going to do to prepare for that run? Because it has been a series of runs.
Well, it's all mental, and they're going to have the crowd is going to get into it, and we just do a better job on the defensive end.
Starting to get anxious about trying to close them out and moving on to the finals?
No, we just got to play solid. We can't worry about that.
All right, Reggie, good luck in the second half. All right, Tom, back over to you.
All right, Jim, and the Pacer defense has been excellent in that first half.
Jim Gray back at Madison Square Garden as we get ready for the second half. I spoke to Jeff Van Gundy. He said he's very concerned about Dale Davis. He had 9 points, 10 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds. He says we got to do something with this guy. Anybody's got to step up, get him off the boards. He's not concerned about their offense. He's concerned about their defense. As for Larry Bird, he told his team, take it to him now. Don't wait for them to make a run. We're 24 minutes away from where we want to be. Tom?
And Larry Bird hoping that he can transfer some of that special magic he had in the playoffs to his team, who showed their heart in Game 5 by coming from 18 down to win that decisive contest. And now only 1 half away from an Eastern Conference championship.
But who's going to play well for the New York Knicks?
They leave Dale Davis opens, can't get the roll. Rick Smits had the offensive board, though.
Well, the thing that is driving Van Gundy crazy is the fact that they cannot get a rebound at a critical time. Houston saved that one. They've got to be ready to rebound the ball, and that's what's been their big play.
Latrell Sprewell back to Ewing. Ewing's shot is on the mark. It's Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson, and Charlie Ward. Original starting 5. Same for Indiana. Mark Jackson, Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Reggie Miller, and Jalen Rose. Miller open 3, no good. Rebounded by Ward.
Well, the Pacers trying to get it done, coming with their main weapon. Smits early, then Reggie Miller. But this is the same kind of defensive tenacity the Knicks showed against Miami when they were down 15 at the half in Game 6 here at the Garden.
Well, there's plenty of time for the Knicks to get Indiana under control, but they've got to do it with pressure on the ball. Smith loses it.
Loose. The ball on the way up and into the arms of Ewing.
Third quarter, decisive playoff games. The referees put the whistles away. Get to the hoop and don't wait for that whistle to bail you out.
Larry Johnson.
Oh, not even close.
Dale Davis, board number 11.
Well, confidence is so fragile, and we have seen the egg break for Larry Johnson in games 5-6. He's not been nearly as aggressive. The success he's had is hurt of Jackson's block.
Ewing came to help and blocked it. It'll be Indiana's ball with 6 to shoot.
Well, with Larry Johnson going 2 for 9 throughout the game, Charlie Ward only has 2 points, and those are from the free throw line. Marcus Canby hasn't scored. Kurt Thomas has 1, putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the guys.
Yeah, but they can't feel sorry for themselves. They got to fight through. They got to stay with the guys that are doing it for them and try to figure out a way to get involved.
Sprewell made a nice move. Ball fake, got Jalen Rose to commit. Then he stepped under and delivered. And a 20-second timeout taken. Knicks close within 5 with 10:02 on the clock, third quarter. Rick Smits continues for the second straight game to struggle.
Yeah, Smits is forcing things, and he's putting some extra pressure on himself, and he's just got to find a way to let the game come to him. Crowd trying to come to life.
Pacers yet to score in the half. Knicks starting to get their running game going. Their first fast break opportunity, that last one, in over 18 minutes.
Smits, skid pass to Jackson, Rose for 3. Good ball movement, no payoff. Sprewell, pull up.
Now, I guarantee you, he will not say a thing about that foot tonight because everything is working for him.
This is what kills Larry Bird, though. Who's going to be able to get the ball and stick it in the basket by themselves as the Knicks defense is really tightening up now?
Yeah, but it helps when a team starts to stand and only play from the perimeter. Reggie Miller silences the crowd.
Reggie Miller gets the first third quarter field goal for the Pacers. He has 11 points, the lead back to 5.
Knicks trying to get Larry Johnson involved here.
Sprewell's had the hot hand. Wild shot, and again he gets the friendly roll. Latrell Sprewell with 20 points.
He's moving at a different pace than everyone else is. Just give him the ball and get out of his way.
He's scored the last 6 New York points.
Speaking of pace, the pace at which the Pacers were moving at, that is really slow to a fall.
Jalen Rose missing, but Smits over the back, committing a loose ball foul, and that's number 4 on Rick.
But with Latrell Sprewell doing everything, transition, everybody backpedaling, pull up, and pull the trigger. Moving without the ball, curling over the top. Smits, Dale Davis, too late. The kind roll for Latrell Sprewell.
Now this is Larry Johnson's side of the floor trying to go pick and roll with Charlie Ward.
Nice pass, Ewing, and 1. Charlie Ward with a brilliant pass to Patrick Ewing, who has a 3-point opportunity, and Rick Smits has picked up his 5th foul.
Well, remember when Rick Smits told us, I would rather play against Patrick Ewing. We're very similar. We have seen those similarities this evening as he has just been reacting to everything. Ewing playing below the rim, and the crowd beginning to sense they might get back in this game.
How about this Knick team, though? They can look so bad in the first half, get totally outplayed, and then bang, turn it on right when they have to have it.
We've seen it happen time and again. They've tied the game at 52 after the 3-point play by Ewing. Sam Perkins replaces Smits. And New York on an 11-2 run to start the third.
Larry Johnson forces a tough shot by Dale Davis. The Knicks play such a dangerous style. Too close to the fire.
Now there's when the foot gave on him a little bit.
He's fine.
Charlie Ward saved it, then tried to pass as he penetrated. Knocked out of bounds by Indiana. Now, and Sprewell looks to be in pain.
Well, his foot buckled when he planted, and that's what he's wincing about right there. It really buckled and turned. He took an off-balance shot, but he's going to fight through this. 11 on the clock for Allen Houston.
Houston fakes Miller. Missed the shot, rebounded by Davis. 12 rebounds for Dale Davis. New York 5 of 9 to open the quarter. Indiana 1 of 9.
That great surging, swarming defense that the Knicks are known for coming alive now.
Sam Perkins can't deliver. Dale Davis saving it, but was on the baseline. Boy, Dale Davis is a textbook for rebounding tenacity.
He has stayed after it, and he has been the only rebounder. Remember, Rick Smith also told us before Game 5, I got to do a better job. I got to help him out. And all he's done is take himself out of the game by jumping over the Knicks backs tonight.
The Pacers won the team rebound battle in the first half. Turnover, Latrell Sprewell.
Threw it right into the hands of Reggie Miller, who anticipated the pass and jumped into the passing lane. Miller off balance shot, no good. Ewing up for the rebound. Here's a long outlet pass, and Ward can't chase it down. New York turns it over.
Well, you know, if the Knicks win the game tonight, Ewing on the floor, that will silence all of that better without Patrick Ewing, because this is an elimination game for the New York Knicks. Trying to find Miller. But what Indiana has done is become just a perimeter team with nobody cutting to the rim. Deep shot Jackson.
Can't hit it. Good rebound by LJ.
Reggie Miller trying to post up Charlie Ward. When you're as good as Reggie Miller and you got a short guy like Charlie Ward on, you got to take it to the hoop. You can't kick it out for a three-pointer who's guarded by Allen Houston.
Speaking again of Patrick Ewing, this is the first home game he's played against the Pacers in the playoffs the last 2 years. 3 to shoot. Allen Houston missing.
But that first half did nothing to quelch the speculation about the Knicks better or worse with Patrick Ewing.
And there's Reggie Miller. Looked like he was going to continue off the break. Came to a quick stop at the three-point line and knocked it down. He has 14.
Yeah, he's got all of their points here in the second half of play. They get a foul against Mark Jackson. When Reggie Miller is coming at you like this, that's when he's most dangerous. Pulls up, gets a foot behind the line to make sure he's got the three. A much-needed score for the Indiana Pacers. Sprewell.
To the basket to shoot 2 after the foul.
Knicks didn't get to the line much in the first half. Just took 7 free throws, making 6, while the Pacers took 11 free throws. Latrell Sprewell right now is playing like one of the great athletes of all time. The way Pele used to play in soccer, where you couldn't keep your eyes off him. Joe Montana in football.
Quick Pele. Sprewell missing. You got any tennis players on that list? Because
Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe.
The French Open's been upset city in Paris so far, but American Venus Williams still leading the championship charge. She takes to the court, keeps her hopes of winning her first Grand Slam title alive. The French Open coverage begins tomorrow at 3 Eastern here on NBC.
Did I hear that Agassi lost today?
He did.
How sad.
He had a tough matchup, but Kuchera is a tough match for him, and just got the better of him. He had some foot problems, too.
Tell that to Latrell Sprewell.
Rose with a skip pass to Jackson, who makes a nice catch. 2 to shoot. Mark Jackson once again beats the shot clock for the 3rd time tonight. Well, he doesn't want to shoot unless the clock is ticking down. He has 3 field goals, all 3 with the shot clock expiring with the ball in the air.
All right, the Knicks need to stay aggressive at the offensive end. Don't become a team that starts holding the ball, pounding it. Ewing slides in.
Patrick Ewing working his way to the rim, used his height advantage, and got it back to a 2-point game. 13 for Patrick.
By Larry Bird, I put Perkins on here. Let Davis take care of the defensive backboard.
Charlie Ward doubling down, strips it from Rose. Here's Sprewell off to the races against Miller, puts it up, no good. Larry Johnson rebounds and travels, jumped, and came back down.
He made the mistake. He thought he was going to be able to go right back up and stick it. It was underneath the basket, had nowhere to go.
The incredible electricity of Latrell Sprewell. Larry Johnson just doesn't have the explosiveness anymore in that broken down body. Intimidated by the towering presence of Dale Davis and Sam Perkins.
Well, he wasn't going to jump over the other side of the backboard. He got too far underneath. Here comes the post for Jackson against Charlie Ward.
Rose for 3.
That's a really long 3.
Rebounded by Ewing, who has 7.
Now, as long as Indiana maintains that attitude, this is a perfect chance for the Knicks to take over the game. Rose knocked down.
Ewing against Davis.
No movement on the weak side, and turnover once again.
Davis poked it away. Here's a 3-on-2 Indiana break. Jalen Rose is fouled by Charlie Ward.
4 fouls now on Charlie Ward. Critical time for Jeff Van Gundy. But with the Knicks standing and watching Patrick Ewing, Dale Davis able to poke it away because there's no passing angles. Jalen Rose out in transition. Very little contact,
Charlie Ward should have stood tall, and he slid out of the way, and that's why the call didn't go his way.
But was there any contact?
Yes, there was contact. The man's on the floor.
People have been known to fall down on their own.
Jalen Rose not happy as he pounds the ball into the floor, having missed the free throw.
Rose had 11 at the break. He is stuck on that number. So all of his shots have been from long distance as he's now shooting into the hands of the New York Knicks fan.
Missed 2.
Mark Jackson is playing great basketball, and the Pacers are not taking advantage of that.
4 minutes to go, third quarter. Indiana by 2. Charlie Ward nowhere to go with it. Finds Ewing. Can't hit. Larry Johnson over the back, loose ball foul. Perkins had inside position.
You know, it's tough for Larry Johnson when you're trying to rebound from the back when the guy is as tall as you and his arms are as long as yours. Sam Perkins, easy call for the officials to make.
Larry Johnson is the shortest power forward in the league by far. Standing about 6'5". Not much elevation anymore because of all the injuries.
A 7-point quarter so far for the Indiana Pacers.
Jackson to Davis. Ewing blocked it and then slapped it out of bounds.
Now, Ewing's had a couple of those blocks on Dale Davis from the rear. He's also missed him a couple times, but this is a saving reaction because it looks like that's going to be a short 2.
How about dunking the ball? Jackson again, pinpoint passing. Rest of his teammates aren't playing at his level.
Here he is on the post-up against Charlie Ward. Houston looks like he might come help, but doesn't come all the way.
He's only scored 2 points. Make him a scorer. Let's see if he can do what he did in the other game. Rose another miss.
And Perkins with a loose ball foul.
Charlie Ward going to get a breather, it looks like, and Chris Childs getting ready to come in the ball game.
Childs did a good job in the first half for New York. At one stretch, kept them in the game with his scoring and assists.
This is a strange quarter in that only at the offensive end, 4 guys have gotten involved. 7 apiece for Ewing and Sprewell, and 2 and 5 for Reggie Miller.
Chris Childs has got 3 fouls, Charlie Ward 4. Van Gundy really has to monitor those minutes.
This Sunday on NBC, our coverage of the WNBA continues. Teresa Weatherspoon and the Liberty taking on Shamiqua Holtzclaw and the Washington Mystics. The WNBA on NBC Sunday.
Steve, a couple of games ago you were talking about the botanical skills of Larry Bird grafting on this budding Jalen Rose. This third quarter for Jalen Rose, he's 0 for 2 on threes, 0 for 2 on twos, and 0 for 2 from the free throw line. What is going on here?
Needs a little fertilizer on him.
He doesn't know much about grafting. Trying to get the ball to Jackson. 6 on the clock.
Down to 2. Rose to Davis. Didn't beat the shot clock that time. 24-second violation gives it back to New York. From the observation platform on the Empire State Building, you can see Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks and the Pacers are locked up in a 1-point battle in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana by 1. Clock shows 2:46. New York ball. Patrick Ewing.
Blocked by Dale Davis.
Ewing got it back, though, and drew the foul.
Now, there's a time, Bill, when you could talk about the lack of Patrick Ewing's explosiveness. There was a time he would jump right over Dale Davis, and that is no more.
The point I made earlier, Sam Perkins is at his best on the defensive end when he's guarding a bigger, stronger guy than he is. If they had Sam Perkins on Patrick Ewing, he's one of the few guys, Sam Perkins, who's older than Patrick Ewing, still playing in this league. But with Perkins guarding Ewing, then Dale Davis would have a field day on the defensive backboards, and nobody else could come in.
And Ewing has given New York the lead, 58-57. Their first lead since they were up 12-11. Ewing has 16 points and 9 rebounds.
This is the way you get after Mark Jackson, so you prevent him from breaking you down at the offensive end. Took them just about 14 seconds to get the ball up and over, but they're going to get a quick shot from Miller and get a save.
Miller turns and fires, but Perkins knocked it out of bounds.
Great defense by Allen Houston, who's been relatively quiet tonight, Allen, but the defensive effort always there.
Houston has scored 8, none in the second half.
Only had 2 shots here in the second half, you know, and he's got to get a chance to get a look at it, but they've been going with the 2 hot hands, Ewing and Sprewell.
Travis Best replaces Jackson for Indiana as Latrell Sprewell finds the range. He leads the Knicks scoring parade with 23 on 9 of them in the quarter.
When you play with that kind of bounce in your step this late in a series, this late in the season, that inspires everyone. All of it on top of a broken foot.
Pretty hard to have bounce in your step with a broken foot, too.
Trying to find Miller.
They found him, and blocked by Houston. Great recovery by Allen Houston to get a piece of the shot.
3 on the shot clock. Pacers have got to come real quick. Who's going to inbound it?
Well, the Pacers have got to recover that aggressive mentality. They have been staying out on the perimeter. They got themselves in a defensive attitude. Miller
beat the shot clock, but couldn't score. And Patrick Ewing now has the double-double. That's his 10th rebound.
They didn't even pressure Travis Best out of bounds. They still got away with it.
Sprewell for 3. Good strong rebound by who else? Missed the rebound, Dale Davis. 14 boards for Dale.
Now, Childs cannot give up his defensive attitude. He's got to go after Best, who's a lot quicker and trickier. Got by him that time.
Great hand, Sprewell, though. Tipping it out of bounds. 12 on the shot clock.
7 points by the Indiana Pacers after 2 very good quarters doing their version of self-destruct like the Knicks did in Indiana.
That second quarter when the Knicks scored 8.
Who's going to be the go-to guy? Jalen Rose is on the bench.
Travis Best. Why not Travis? He was best in game 5.
So that gives them 9 and will keep them above the Knick number, but they are under double figures in the quarter and really struggling to score.
Has there ever been a team in Indiana history that had more left-handed players than the Indiana Pacers?
Allen Houston. Houston becomes the first player other than Sprewell or Ewing to score in this third quarter.
So you think 3 is the record?
They got 4. They got the Chris Mullin, the forgotten one over there.
Oh, that's the reason. Looking at Travis Best is dancing with the ball, and I think that he's going to get the green light from Larry Bird the rest of the way. Try to make it happen. Try to score the point.
Here's Mullin leaning back. The 5-time All-Star, the New Yorker. He also won a couple of gold medals on the U.S. Olympic team. Itching to play, but he plays the equivalent of 2 full games out here in the pregame warm-up.
Working so hard for hours on end. Nice trap, Larry Johnson taking that out of Travis Best's hand.
5 to shoot. Here's Best back to Miller. Open 3. Reggie Miller got it.
So Miller has 8 in the quarter and ties the ball game up.
Once again, the man who has damaged the Knicks so many times hits a clutch 3-pointer, and in the final seconds of the third, we are tied.
But Travis Best is creating lots of offensive opportunities for the Pacers.
And this is the time when Allen Houston should pick his spot of how he wants to score, going against the clock and Reggie Miller.
Likes that turn to his left, couldn't hit it. Dale Davis looked like he was above the rim for basket interference, but no call as Best misses from midcourt as the third quarter comes to an end. New York outscored Indiana 21-12 in the third quarter. Thank you, Hannah. Game 6 with our producer Kevin Smolin, director John Gonzalez, Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper-Jones, Jim Gray, ready for quarter number 4 in game number 6. The Pacers with that 12-point low after in game 5 the Knicks had an all-time low, 8 points in their second quarter of game 5. And this is the time that the veterans, the Patrick Ewings, the Reggie Millers make their presence known with the game and perhaps a title on the line.
Larry Bird can't believe that wasn't called traveling.
Houston back out to Sprewell for 3.
Well, Patrick Ewing and Sprewell played the entire quarter. They were the offensive energy that got them back in the ball game. We'll see how long they go. Foul Allen Houston.
Sprewell is not coming out of this game. It could go 5 overtimes and he would still be out there.
Sprewell And the crowd exploding as he knocked in the three-pointer to open the fourth quarter, giving the Knicks a 3-point lead, his 26th point of the game.
How long is Larry Bird going to go with Jalen Rose on the bench, who has yet to score in the second half?
Canby thought he got a clean block of Austin Crozier, but instead Marcus is called for his second foul.
Well, what Larry Bird wants and didn't get from Jalen Rose is what he got from Austin Crozier on that play. Bring the ball to the basket. Don't just be a perimeter player trying to win the ball game from deep.
Terrific drive by Austin Crozier, though, getting to the foul line. A guy who struggled. 22 points in game one. Since then, 17 points combined.
He's an activity player much like Marcus Camby. They left him open. They paid more attention to him. He's not been able to shake it loose.
Austin Crozier's got a stroke. He has some moves. Marcus Camby yet to develop those in his early part of his career.
Ewing is fouled with 11:01 on the clock. And they'll reset the shot clock to 14.
Look at the big guys now for Larry Bird. He's got Perkins finally on Ewing, Crozier guarding Camby, and Derek McKee trying to tower over Sprewell.
Well, Perkins picked up that last foul. He's got 3. Two-man game, Ewing, Sprewell.
8 on the shot clock.
Sprewell's letting it go. That one hit the back iron, and Austin Crozier hauls it down.
Oh, it's great that Austin Crozier's starting to show some signs of contributing.
Miller.
Child's got 4 fouls.
And Miller shoots a 3. Reggie Miller. We called for a Miller explosion if Indiana was to win on the road and record the first road victory of this series, and he has 20 points.
Now that was automatic. As soon as he looked up and saw Chris Child, he was letting that one go.
Indiana by 2. Sprewell needs some help.
They're starting to stand, and that's what gets him in trouble.
4 to shoot.
Great closeout, Travis Best.
Childs, Best took it away. Shot clock violation. Good defense by the Indiana Pacers.
Fans don't like this call. It was a violation of the shot clock as opposed to the out-of-bounds call that gives the ball to Indiana, and Travis Best continues to play superb basketball. And with Childs in foul trouble, he's going to have a great difficulty in containing, slowing down Travis Best.
Larry Bird was called on the play for inside, and it was a cross screen. See, they've taken a lot of time to get into it. So that play, whatever it was, it's not going to happen, and it's going to be an individual effort by Travis Best.
Beautiful. Got by Childs and drew the foul. The quickness of Travis Best.
All right, thanks, Nap. Larry Bird during that timeout told his guys, get some easy baskets. Keep driving to the hole. The Knicks already have 3 team fouls. A couple more, and they'll be shooting for the rest of the quarter. He doesn't want them to keep settling for perimeter shots. Only if you're wide open and you got a good look. Tom?
And that free throw story that Jim Gray was reporting from Larry Bird, who was the best at controlling tempo by getting to the free throw line himself. The Pacers in the first quarter were a perfect 8 for 8 from the line. Since that time, until these 2 free throws by Travis Best, the Pacers were only 4 for 7. Not getting to the line at all in the second and third quarters, Indiana.
They lead by 4, 69-65.
Turnover.
Turnovers is what will get the Knicks in a hole. They're down 4 points, and they've got to be good every time. Ewing gone to the bench for the first time in the second half.
A dozen turnovers committed by New York.
Sprewell's got a tough matchup trying to guard McKee.
Perkins misses a 3. He can make that shot fairly regularly, but that one would not go down, and New York has it back.
Guys from Alabama going at each other. Sprewell with a quick shot, and when they get a quick shot like that, they're not going to get the chance to get the rebound, and that's what Van Gundy's telling guys. Calm down. You don't have to win the game all in 1 minute.
But it can't just be Latrell Sprewell. Marcus Camby has done very little tonight. Same for Larry Johnson.
Miller for 3.
Timeout, Van Gundy. He's seen enough. The defensive strategy breaking down for New York.
Madison Square Garden, New York, where the Indiana Pacers are just over 8 minutes away from a trip to the NBA Finals. And they have their star, Reggie Miller, to thank for it in the second half. He has scored 14 points, including 4 3-pointers. The rest of the team just 8. Ewing missing badly.
Ugly shot. That was the first shot attempt by any Knick other than Latrell Sprewell, who opened the fourth quarter with a three-pointer. He missed his next two, and other than that, they just had turnovers and then that air ball.
Well, they've given Allen Houston a short breather, but he's got to come back in the game, and they got to get something from him. Crozier from the corner.
Missed the three. Ewing hauls it down, hands it to Charlie Ward. Patrick has 11 rebounds.
What the Knicks can't do is flatten out emotionally. They're still in the ball game a ton of time, and even though Sprewell's been their only scorer, they just got to continue to fight through and find a way to get to the rim. They're becoming a jump shooting team.
The Knicks are shooting 38%. Excuse me, Indiana is shooting 38% and winning handily in Madison Square Garden by 7 points.
Here's the man that's done the damage. Miller throws a tough pass, but Crozier makes a good catch and misses the shot. Marcus Camby wades in to bring it down. He has 6 rebounds.
What about Larry Bird's message that Jim Gray reported about taking the ball to the hoop? Back-to-back bombs by Crozier.
They didn't get it.
Don't people listen to the coach? Why would you not listen to Larry Bird?
Newsflash, sometimes NBA players pay no attention. One of the chief offenders of that was Larry Bird, if I recall.
Well, the Pacers on a 10-0 run, but we saw it in the Portland Laker game when Phil Jackson told him no more threes.
Charlie Ward, the shot clock was running down. He had to shoot it and shot one of the tougher shots of the night to get his 4th point, his first field goal.
Now he's got to play some defense, or at least somebody does, on Travis Best.
Well, they switch off now. When Miller looks at this, he's going to let this go. He's not going to give this ball out. And now Marcus Camby trying to come over and help.
Indiana gets it back with 4 to shoot. Charlie Ward just making his first shot of the night.
McKee, an outstanding inbound passer.
4 on the shot clock.
Screens galore for Reggie Miller.
Sprewell guarding it. It comes to Crozier instead, who launches. Short air ball to Ewing. Ward pushing for New York.
He had a mismatch with Perkins. He should have been looking to just blow right by him.
Perkins can shut that down. Yeah.
Here's Ewing against Perkins. And he'll shoot 2 free throws. Sam committing the foul.
You know, when you can't jump over people, you play under them. And Patrick Ewing now playing underneath the long arms of Sam Perkins to get to the free throw line.
4 fouls on Perkins.
The look of dismay on Larry Bird's face when that call was whistled. Perkins played him perfectly.
Tomorrow night at 8/7 Central, you can enjoy the NBC Saturday Night Movie starring Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis' Little Giants. Then at 10, 9 Central, world's most amazing videos all Saturday nights here on NBC. There's Rick.
Well, Perkins thought he was coming out, but it's Austin Crozier who didn't get that message. But the thought that Phil Jackson had for his team against Portland was stay with the offense, go through Shaq, and they did nothing but throw them up from 3-point range, and that helped Portland put them away and force a game 6.
Ewing misses the second free throw, 17 in the game for Patrick. The lead is 4 for Indiana.
We're getting Miller on this switch every single time.
Charlie Ward trying to prevent the pass to Miller. Deflects it out of bounds.
Indiana's playing 2-man basketball. They run the pick and roll with the guards, and they switch, and that forces Charlie Ward to guard Reggie Miller.
Crowd trying to lift New York with 6:17 remaining. Indiana has the ball. They have 8 to shoot. Miller against Sprewell. Steps back and delivers another 3. Reggie Miller with another dagger, darting back behind the 3-point line and knocking it down. He has 26 against the team he says he hates, the team they had to beat to get to the final.
His focus, his concentration in the zone clearly at this point. Get him the ball every time down.
Patrick Ewing.
Tough shot. Tough shot.
And
Larry Johnson
fouls, knocking it away from Dale Davis.
Well, it's time for Allen Houston to get back in the ball game. They've got to have a true stick from the outside since the Knicks are stuck on the perimeter. But Reggie Miller saying, look, there's only one way we're going to win this game, and that's going to be with me shooting the ball and not Austin Crozier.
Actually,
that's a good idea.
Reggie Miller has not been a real terrific factor in the series until now, and last year was not a big factor as New York beat Indiana. But here he is again doing his Knick defeating act at the Garden, for which he has become so famous.
Looking at Miller.
Why not? He'll shoot 2, and he is only the second best free throw shooter in the league. Jalen Rose back in the game after sitting for 9 minutes.
Are we going to see Rick Smits again, or is Larry Bird going to stay with Dale Davis and Sam Perkins up front? Rick picked up a lot of fouls.
You think there's a need for Rick to be in this ball game today?
Rick's a very good basketball player. You never have too many of those.
.525 left in the game. Pacers lead 76-68. I'm Jim Gray. We spoke to Larry Bird yesterday, and he told us at about this point in the game against the Chicago Bulls back in 1998, his rookie season as a coach, they were up by about 6 points with about 5.5 minutes left. He was telling Bill Walton and I yesterday that he has never really, as a coach, gotten over that game. If this game, right here, game 6, turns out to be the same thing, it would be an exorcist of that demon to a certain degree, and if he blows it, he'll have another one to add to that record. Tom?
In that game, the Indiana Pacers were out-rebounded by 19 offensive rebounds. They couldn't make a stop down the stretch. Charlie Ward brings some sort of life back to the Knicks.
A lot of ball game left, 7-point game, but they've got to be able to control Reggie Miller and Travis Best. They're playing a 2-man game. They're looking for a switch, making the defense react. Miller with 10 on the clock.
Houston back defending him. And Reggie misses that shot, but an offensive rebound by Rose, then taken away by Charlie Ward. Ward is trying to single-handedly bring the Knicks back with every hustle play he can make.
Long rebounds and loose balls. It's been the determining factor in virtually every one of these games.
They're trying to get the ball to Allen Houston. They're trying to make it happen. He's got to shoot. He can't think pass, and it turns into a turnover.
In this fourth quarter, Reggie Miller alone has outscored the Knicks 11-8.
Let's step out Larry Johnson. This guy's got too much ability.
Travis Best.
When you let Best dance like that, that's when you get in trouble. You got to get after him and make him be very tentative about what he wants to do. 4 in the quarter for him.
They may want to think about double teaming him out front, making him pass the ball rather than shoot it.
Here's a foul on Best.
Going to get a hook against Travis Best on the screen. He's saying the screen was moving. 4 minutes to go, 15 on the shot clock for Sprewell and New York.
Ewing made the good fake and drew the foul. Patrick Ewing back to the line. Trouble is, he's been hitting the first and missing the second on recent trips to the stripe.
Bird staying with the strategy of Dale Davis, thinking he's got more strength and power to keep Patrick Ewing off the spot.
Free throw no good. He's only 5 of 8. And don't forget, coming up next, the crucial game 6 in the West. Shaq and the Lakers against Scotty and the Blazers, with LA hoping to close it out, and the road team has been predominant in that series. That's coming up next, the Lakers and the Trailblazers. Ewing again hits only 1 of 2. He has 18 points and 12 rebounds. Well, the Indiana Pacers have lost 5 straight at Madison Square Garden, dating back to last year's playoffs when Larry Johnson had that 4-point play. And in the regular season and playoffs this season, no road team has won a game, but the Pacers,
they were looking for Reggie Miller all the way, and they held the ball too long. Shot clock violation coming up. There was a very tentative possession for Jalen Rose as he was trying to find Reggie Miller. Jalen Rose has got to be more proactive and creative himself, and then he can find Reggie Miller.
Indiana has taken way too much time to get into their plays. So by the time somebody who's really good who can score gets the ball, they basically have to rush into their shot. Remember, in the history of these two rivals, Game 6 has always been won by the New York Knicks.
Well, you know, things change. You play long enough, the odds, you know, if you stay at that table long enough, the odds will finally go in your favor. It's just a question of whether you're going to have enough money when you finally
I don't want to hear about odds. I want to hear about ball players.
Well, 3 previous occasions, Indiana needed only 1 victory to advance to the finals, and they failed to do so all 3 times. Here's Ward for 3. Kept alive by Ewing for a moment before the sure hands of Dale Davis squeeze it. And he has 16 rebounds, which has been his magic number throughout this series.
Here's the double team by Larry Johnson. But still not enough to make Travis Best give it up. What a clever ball handler.
Well, the Knicks are going to need a miracle right now because they're not controlling anything. Tough shot.
Make him pass. Jackson up off the bench. The first one, the guy who Travis Best put to the bench.
Madison Square Garden trying to rally the Knicks. One last comeback here in Game 6. 2:54 now counting down. And the Indiana Pacers, 3 times the champion in the old ABA, looking to advance to their first NBA Finals.
But who's on top of their game for the Knicks if they're going to pull off a miraculous comeback? Sam Perkins, great defense.
Their defensive attitude has really stepped up. They have to come back to Ewing. They get nothing inside. And, of course, what a lot of speculation is going to come out of this, did Ewing help or hurt? I say if it weren't for Patrick Ewing tonight, they would have never been this close in this ballgame. Foul Travis Best.
Well, the speculation will continue unabated if the Knicks do lose this game about Patrick Ewing and whether he helps or hurts New York. Your opinion, Bill?
They don't run without him, or with him, excuse me. They stand around. They all watch him. He's too big of a safety net. He's too good. They stand there and say, you do it, Patrick. Where's been the contributions of the other guys in support of you?
Houston can't hit. Indiana has it again. Miller's fouled. After 3 quarters, we were tied at 62. Latrell Sprewell opened the 4th quarter with a 3-pointer, giving New York a 65-62 lead. But since then, New York has just 2 field goals, and Reggie Miller has put the Pacers in position to take the title. Charlie Ward has just fouled out of the game. There's the man that really has helped the Knicks get to this position of Game 6. Throughout this playoff series, he has validated his credentials as a legitimate NBA point guard.
You know, Travis Best was hot and got into it with Joey Crawford, Reggie Miller, before he stepped to the line and said, look at the scoreboard. Forget about it. We're 2 minutes away from getting to where we want to be with 4 more games to try to play and win for the championship. Bird looking at the clock as the lead continue to grow in his favor.
And Reggie Miller now with 30 points. There's the explosion we talked about. It was indeed Reggie Miller that carried the Pacers on his back.
You know, and nobody else is shooting the ball, and that's what's really hurting the New York Knicks. They come back to Patrick Ewing, who guaranteed a win. He can't deliver, but Allen Houston has basically disappeared at the most crucial time in the ball game for New York.
Well, this has been the greatest victory here in Indiana Pacer history.
And it's due to Reggie Miller in large part. In the 4th quarter, he's outscored New York single-handedly 13-9.
He's from UCLA. What do you expect?
Oh, we went the whole game without getting that.
Patrick Ewing, even at the age of 37, is still one of the top 4 centers in the NBA, along with Shaq, David Robinson, and Alonzo Mourning.
Meanwhile, a 3-point opportunity. Patrick apparently done for the night with 18 points, 12 rebounds in 38 minutes of play.
You know, this is the kind of play that just comes too late. You're now fighting time. If you're Sprewell in the New York Knicks, you have to have a total breakdown of the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are going to be eating time up, looking to get to the free throw line, where they are an outstanding free throw team.
Get the ball to Travis Best and Reggie Miller. They should be the only guys that handle the ball. Just hold it here. Sam Perkins, so smart.
Well, this team, everyone thought this would be their last chance. They have 6 free agents. Their coach, the legendary Larry Bird, has said he won't coach past this season. They questioned the trade of Antonio Davis to Toronto in the offseason. The heart of the team was questioned after the Knicks defeated them last season. when they had been the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. And a lot of those demons will be put to rest if they can hold on for a minute 27. And all the good teams, all the champion teams had somebody they had to get by. For the Pacers, it has always been New York.
And it has been New York, but the Pacers are so much like the Utah Jazz. You know, the Jazz had to climb and climb and climb. They finally got to the mountain, went there twice, never got their championship, but they will get their first opportunity.
Larry Bird has told us unequivocally as Sprewell tries to answer and does with a three. But he said, Bird, that even if the team wins the championship, he's not coming back as the coach.
Travis Best is fouled as the Knicks close within 8. Indiana, though, in this fourth quarter, has hit all 10 of their free throws.
You talked about the validation of Charlie Ward as a player. How about the validation of Larry Bird as a coach? Here's a guy who gets criticized time and time again. Larry Bird has coached this team for 3 years. They've been in the conference final every year in the Eastern Conference. That has not been done since Phil Jackson was running the Chicago Bulls. Larry Bird developing new talent. Travis Best, Jalen Rose, Austin Crozier. Getting the new building built in Seco Fieldhouse. The best basketball facility ever built.
He did that?
They weren't going to build it without him.
Let's don't get carried away.
Come on, the team was on this team was on the skids before he got there, and now they're in the NBA Finals.
So Larry Brown didn't get him to the Eastern Conference Finals a few times.
Well, Larry Brown's one of the 5 greatest coaches in basketball today.
Travis Best, another good contribution. 10 points the last 13 minutes, his only points of the game. And facing either Los Angeles or Portland, who would they prefer to play as far as matchups go?
Well, nobody wants to play against Shaq.
Right.
Even the Blazers don't want to play against Shaq.
They beat the Lakers when they won 16 in a row. They broke the streak. They think they can play against them. They swept the Trailblazers in their season matchup. They feel that if they get to the championship round, they can play with anybody. Remember what Jackson told us, force and aggression. Will they have enough force and aggression to win 4 more games, regardless of who the opponent is?
The Pacers have an infinitely better chance against Portland than they do against the Lakers.
One thing they'll have in their favor is free throw shooting, the best in the NBA. And in this fourth quarter, when it counts to preserve an apparent victory, they have hit 14 for 14.
You know, when you get in this position and you're down 10, 2 minutes to go, you have to have a total breakdown, and the Pacers are just not going to give it to the Knicks. And, you know, it's one of those deals where it's too little, too late for Larry Johnson and New York.
They needed a couple of those 4-point plays.
You got to bring that stuff early in the game.
Back to the free throw line.
Oh, they were tight. As you look at Donnie Walsh, the president, and Melvin Simon, one of the owners, Herb Simon, excuse me, they were tight before the ball game. Very, very nervous about it, and they did not want to have to go back to Indiana to play a game 7. That's going to be some rally back for them on that play.
How sweet will this be for Reggie Miller?
Oh, tremendous.
I think that they should just totally ignore this and say, look, getting to the finals is not enough. We got to win this thing. And you think Larry Bird's going to be happy to lose the finals?
Well, but they at least get to play for the finals now.
They've at least put some of those demons behind them, and now a new challenge. And they will make it to the finals as Reggie Miller will return to the free throw line.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy looked up at the clock, and I think he's going to call off the fouling now. He knows that there is absolutely nothing they can do. Jackson and Bird exchange hugs, and you know, that's the joy right there. They're saying that's what we're talking about. That's what we came here to do.
And how great is this for Mark Jackson, who played here, grew up here, Rookie of the Year for the New York Knicks. They said he wasn't good enough anymore after teaming with Patrick Ewing for some great years.
And he said he wanted to dance on the Garden floor tonight, and he can do his dance. Larry Bird prohibited that little shimmy, but I think he can probably do it tonight if he wants, as Reggie Miller's point total continues. He started with 5 points in the first, got 4 in the second, 8 in the third, and then it was Miller time. 17 in the fourth quarter, 34 in the game.
Mark Jackson told us before the game that the biggest road victory of his entire life came in Game 7 in '95 when they won here, when Ewing missed the layup. Dale Davis got the rebound. This supplants that as the greatest road victory in Mark Jackson's legendary basketball career.
First road victory for either team in this series all season long. The 5th conference final that Indiana has been in. They lost the previous 4 twice to the Knicks. And the shot clock expires, and they'll turn it back to New York with 9.7.
The laughter for Dale Davis. How hard he's worked, pounding the boards. Never gets any credit. Finally got the respect this year as he made his first All-Star team, Dale Davis, ever.
Just a personal note, it's been fun this season, guys. Had a great time as the final seconds tick away.
As always, Tom, thank you. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. Well deserved. The best team all year. They proved it during the regular season and during the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
So the final score, 93-80. The Indiana Pacers on their way to the NBA Finals for the first time in their history. Indiana outscoring New York 31-15 over the last 11 minutes. 17 of those 31 points contributed by their star, Reggie Miller. Another long walk for Patrick Ewing as the Indiana Pacers celebrate their first Eastern Conference championship. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. I'm here with Reggie Miller. Reggie, after 4 tries to finally make it to the finals, what's going through your mind and your thoughts right now?
This is special. I mean, you know, we've always fought and we always get to the conference finals and lose twice against New York and Chicago and Orlando. And to finally have another opportunity to get here. And, you know, I told the guys before the game, if the league called you up and asked you, you only had to play 1 game and you could pick the spot where you want to play. And if you win that game, you get to move on to the finals. Would you take it? And where would you want to play? And everyone in unison said, the Knicks in the Garden, and let's go for it.
And the Knicks and the Garden. Tell me about that, to finally beat this team, a team that you have said, quite frankly, you hate.
Well, I might dislike them and sometimes hate them, but I have so much respect for New York and the New York fans. It's always been tough to play here. We knew coming in it was going to be physical. And like I said, we had to exercise some demons. And like I said, some teams have to...
Does this eliminate the disappointments of the past?
Well, we finally get to move on, so I would say yeah. But this is just so sweet because I played well. My God, this is beautiful.
All right, Reggie, congratulations to you. We look forward to seeing the final.
We're coming.
All right. Back over to you, Tom Hammond.
Thank you, Jim. So Indiana wins Game 6, 93-80. We'll hear from the Knicks at halftime of the second game, the Western Conference Finals.